You want stuff? You need stuff? They've got stuff. There's cool stuff, hot stuff, they have high-tech stuff, they even have no-tech stuff. There's stuff for inside your house, there's stuff for the outside of your house. You can get all the stuff you want with cash back shopping at greenbackstreet.com/explorer store. It's where you'll find stores like these. If asked, enter promo code 79878.
Welcome to Martial Arts Explorer, exploring practical technique as revealed in classical forms of all styles. I'm Scott Combs. This time we have a rare look inside a Japanese sumo training hall and a look at Chapel Hill, North Carolina's police blotter. But first, Mike has a really cool technique that comes from augmented or supported position.
Thanks, Scott. As always, thanks for joining us. We're going to take a look at a nice, easy technique coming in, and we'll work on lung 5 point on the inside of the arm. All we're going to be doing is coming from one motion and twisting into here. Now, so often we end up in forms where we're doing an augmented or supported, or whatever you refer to it as, so a supported punch or supported back fist motion. Juan Carlos is going to come in and join me. And this starts off pretty slow. It works up on an easy push. And now the important thing is this isn't a rapid fire move. So many times we practice working things off of a punch. Now, if he throw a quick punch at me once. All right, now if he's punching like that, I have to be pretty fast. And if it's really moving and Juan's actually pretty fast, he's going full speed. Okay, if he's doing that, there's no way I'm catching his hand. All right, it's just not gonna happen. It's more luck than it is skill. But if he reaches in slow and he's gonna be doing one of these things and he's just getting in my face, we're starting to move, he starts to reach forward and I bring him across this direction. Now I often do slap parry, hand pass, brush pass, whatever you want to call this technique. Circle, circle, come in and grab. You can also just sidestep, backhand grab, and this works just fine. Now like I said, when we work on lung 5, it's right there, okay? Just in front of the elbow, towards the hand, slightly up on the top side. And what you're gonna do is, this is the acupressure point, and you're just gonna go ahead and squeeze it and slightly dip it in. You see I get a little body reaction, and you're gonna find different reactions from different people. Some people, well, this will hurt more, some less, but what we're really using it for is to help us bend the elbow. If I do this and I do this, it makes the elbow bend. It makes it easier. Now I could also just take my hand and slam it into the joint, it's gonna bend too, but if I can, why not make it easier on myself? And that's what we're gonna do here. So he starts to push, start my slap parry, I grab it, and this hand slides down. I like to grab right into the wrist where it gets nice and thick. It's an automatic stop, makes it easy to grab, and I cover here. This reaches over, I get a grab here. So I'm basically doing this. Now from here I grab in this little bend. As I start to bend it, I bend up and in, and now I curl over this direction and I start to work in the ear. So I'm getting this lock coming across here. So I get this wrist press, wrist turn, whatever you want to call this type of motion here. And from there is my takedown. But what I want you to really think about, really practice, is using lung 5. So as I come across, I'm here, I grab, twist and cover, and bring it across the body. And then you've got all sorts of great things you can do after that. All right, one more time. Pushes in, slap parry, grab, twist, and down. All right, not too bad. Pretty easy move when you start. All right, now if I'm not turning to face the camera, you see a little different motion as I come across this way. So as I step and turn all the way over, his body flips over. My feet even get in the way of his. As I step into here, I cut across his body. It makes him trip over, and it makes it that much easier. Thanks, Juan. As you saw when I did that, as I start here and I come to here, there's my augmented position that you're looking at. So look for any form you know, where you're supporting or moving in this direction here, and you have this basic idea of this technique. All right, we're gonna grab the class. Let everybody give it a try. All right, guys, we're taking a look at a supported strike. So you're in here, oftentimes this is called an augmented strike, and you're bringing your hands up in front. Jump on in, John. Now, what's happening is someone's reaching in to push, and this isn't a very fast attack on his part. If he's moving too quick, this isn't gonna work, okay? So he reaches in, and I sidestep out, and I'm gonna start my slap parry. Or, if you're not quite used to that, two-hand block works just fine moving in. But as we move out, we step here and I step off to his 45. If he was gonna punch me, it makes it harder to punch me, or if he's gonna grab me, he's gotta turn into me now, which is what we really want. So I'm out here. I grab right at the wrist, and I'm gonna grab lung 5, which is right where the elbow bends, right into here. I get in, I get a squeeze, which starts to bend the elbow. As I turn him over, I simply bring my hand, which is right on the back of his, curl it in, curl it on top, come across. Now I have a couple directions. One direction of pressure is this way, the other pressure is going this way, and so I get this tip coming here. Now, if I stand here and do this, if I get it really nice, he might go down, but to be much easier is if I grab and step, and if I turn through and come across, I get a little better pressure. And I cheated a couple ways too. As I come through, one thing I do is I often run into his shoulder, his bicep in here, and I start pushing his weight of his upper body back. So I shift his weight this way, which makes it easier because he's already off balancing a little bit. And the next thing I do is when I step in, I often step behind his foot here so he has nowhere to step this way. So I'm bumping him here, and I'm applying pressure up and across the top at the same time. Little things that sort of just add up as you start to work on this. So move out of the way. All right, step off. Here's my first position. Grab lung 5, squeeze in, bend up, step through, roll, and down and across. All right, very careful, don't hit each other, don't break anybody's wrists. All right, you guys give it a try. Thanks, John. Grab here, and grab here. There you go. And now you're gonna step this way, step this foot through. Good, very careful and very easy. Make sure you guys stay out of each other's way. I don't want to be banging heads. I'm gonna make it just a little easier on you. As this comes in, instead of grabbing with your fingers down, put both your hands up. You get an easier cover. Now as you grab into this point in here, make sure if you give this little scoop, it makes it hurt just a little more. In this case, I was using my, I'm using my ring finger. It just depends on where your strength is. You might want to use your index, whatever works for you, but right up towards the crook of the elbow there, and then you bring it back in here. Now, if my hand is, so if I slid down and I end up grabbing just at the wrist, a lot of times it's nice to get my thumb out of the way, but I'm just gonna cover it here, and I bend it in this way, and instead of here it gets a little high, I'm up in the air a little bit. It's sometimes easier if I come here, and then get that two-directional pressure going on then. So get one more try here. Yep, yeah, there you go, grab in there. Now cover him just a little more out into here.
Slide it up.
Yep. Good, now step through and pull him. There you go, and see how his body weight shifts? When his body weight shifts back, he's ready to go. You got it. One thing that's gonna help, instead of patting him down real low, as he comes in, instead of pulling down in this way and holding the hand over it, once you get into here, just grab right into this, and you can straighten them out. If the problem is the arm is sometimes not in the right position, pull, straighten them out, that makes them weak, and then grab them. Make sure you give that little hook back, and then you can pull them up and drop that wrist over the top, and then step through and bring them across like you were. All right, now as you're working on your own forms, remember that often this one move made me do a couple different things. I had an initial block, I had my grab, I dug into lung 5, and I stepped through and I ended up here. So in this case, an interpretation like this, we refer to as shorthand. One move means many things. So we try and be real open and loose in our thinking. I'm not saying that I can only do one technique. I'm saying that this is my last technique and these things led up to it. So it's just an idea. So as you're practicing and you step in, or you step to here, if you want to take a second stop to think about an actual application, you just run through these thoughts in your mind. And that's often how we use our forms when we work on these type of interpretations. Well, thanks for joining us. We're going to give you back to Scott.
Thanks, Michael. Last winter, 2 members of our school traveled to Japan and were able to shoot some footage of actual sumo wrestlers actually training. As we look at the video, Caitlin, who studies Japanese culture at Hamline University, described the action. Okay, what are they doing here?
Well, here, one sumo wrestler is taking a very strong stance, and the other one's pushing him across the floor. I mean, the floor is literally just dirt and gravel. Also, this is at the end of training, as a lot of our videos are. So they've been doing this for about 4 hours and are extremely tired.
And, okay, so this is your endurance training. Mm-hmm. When you're already tired, now you got to drive a 400-pound man across the ring.
Exactly.
How were you allowed to do this?
Well, beias, some are open and some aren't, but you essentially just go around the district, Ryogoku, in Tokyo, and you just ask every beia you come across until one of them says okay.
And so you and the cameraman were asking?
We were asking. This is about the 4th beia that we'd gone to. So yeah, they were kind enough to let us watch.
Now here they're doing something really different.
Yeah, I'm not actually quite sure what they're doing in this one. I assume it's stretching or something.
Or maybe even some strength training, but I wonder what it was that possessed the cameraman on this one to photograph from this angle. Like right there, see what I mean?
Well, there wasn't really that much choice. There's only one area you could sit in as a spectator and watch. Interestingly enough, this is actually done at the end of training, so this isn't really a warm-up.
Okay, more strength training.
Yeah.
Is this, again, the end of the workout?
Yeah, this is the end again. We weren't there for the beginning because training usually starts at 4 or 5 in the morning.
Okay, after this, do they play leapfrog, or is just this the way they close out training?
This is just the way they close out training.
What's the guy in the corner? He must have been bad.
Actually, I think he had injured himself. You can see around the edges, a lot of these guys are lower-ranking sumo wrestlers, and they basically hold towels and wait to give the other ones water.
Now, this is like closing bow or closing ritual.
We can only assume. Sumo's highly ritualistic, so it wouldn't be surprising.
Chapel Hill, North Carolina has been a hotbed of criminal activity over the last week or so. We found these items in the Chapel Hill News police blotter. A man reported that he was assaulted by his brother and cousin Friday on Hillsborough Road. The man told police that his brother always bosses him around, and he decided not to listen to him. No charges were filed. Someone threw eggs and pimento cheese at a car in a Homestead Road apartment complex on Wednesday. 54 bottles of aspirin and $170 worth of Axe body spray were stolen from Food Lion on North Fordham Boulevard Wednesday. Tip for the police, you're looking for a nice-smelling man who doesn't have a headache. Home thefts reported this week. 8 jewelry items and a tie were stolen from a closet in a residence on Village Crossing Drive. Also, someone stole a computer cord, an iPod, $140 in cash, a digital camera, and a Jesus magnet from a West Franklin Street apartment during a party. Now, you can't get any lower than that to steal a Jesus magnet, for Pete's sake. Be sure to use caution if you want to try any of these techniques at home. We're not responsible for any damage to your partner, household items, or dignity if anyone spots you stomping around in a sumo diaper. There's a pretty mental picture. As always, direct email to explorer@martialartsexplorer.tv. For Martial Arts Explorer and Michael Kleinebeer, I'm Scott Combs.